Ohioans from across the state are speaking up, saying they want to protect reproductive freedom.
Supporters of a proposed amendment to enshrine reproductive freedom in the Ohio Constitution submit hundreds of thousands of signatures to the Secretary of State's office.
We are fully funded and ready to go to explain to Ohioans why this is a bad idea.
How much money opponents are ready to spend to defeat the measure. A legal storm is now brewing over the decades of sexual abuse by OSU athletics doctor Richard Strauss.
I want apologies. I want a lot of apologies. Not only the OSU back then, but all the things that they've done now.
The deadline plaintiffs are facing to consolidate the remaining lawsuits against Ohio State. And a flurry of U.S. Supreme Court decisions have many calling for reforms to the high court.
I was not only shocked, I was devastated, but not surprised.
Democrat Congresswoman Joyce Beatty weighs in, and what Republican Senator J.D. Vance is demanding from some colleges in the wake of the rulings.
The longest-running political show in Central Ohio starts now. This is NBC4's The Spectrum with Colleen Martin.
The 5-year legal fight over whether or not Ohio State University is liable for the actions of a sexually abusive teen doctor is finally on track for trial. U.S. District Court Judge Michael Watson held the first status conference in the case this week after the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear Ohio State's statute of limitations argument. From the very beginning, OSU has argued the plaintiffs waited too long to file their claims. Now it's clear Ohio State is not ready to give up the fight.
I prayed for the day that I could sit on the stand and tell my story, and I still do. I want to sit in front of a jury and tell my story more than anything in the world.
Stephen Snyder-Hill is one of more than 300 men who have stories to share. Stories of aggressive genital exams, of Strauss spending hours in the showers with students, sexual molestation, even being drugged and raped. And all of them claim university leaders, coaches, trainers, other doctors knew and did nothing.
A blind man could see what was going on, and there was just this toxic Sodom and Gomorrah kind of thing. And then, especially after he did what he did, it was constantly seeing him walking around, often naked. It's just like taunting us.
No trial date was set, but attorneys have until July 14th to give the judge a list of active cases and determine if any of the hundreds of claims can be consolidated. Plaintiff's attorney Scott Smith hopes to go to trial within a year.
What was striking to me was OSU's response on what defenses they now have. They've always said it was the statute of limitations, that they were wrong. And they felt bad for these individuals. But now today, new defenses may arise. And that, to me, was a telltale sign that what they had said before was not accurate.
Attorneys for the university declined to answer questions, but for the first time indicated to the court they will oppose Title IX claims that the university had knowledge, was deliberately indifferent, though, to what happened to the students. Their own investigation showed that coaches knew, athletic directors knew, administrators knew, trainers knew, doctors knew. How can they argue against knowledge?
You're going to have to ask the university lawyers that question, because that is somewhat perplexing. Their own investigation that they paid millions of dollars for revealed that information. We do this in litigation. It's sometimes very, very perplexing why they won't admit what they already know is true.
I don't even know how I feel. I'm pretty numb. They make no sense. They could care less about the students. They could care less about the athletes. All they care about is their image and recruiting football players.